Hi, Belinda, from 86400. We've got Belinda Hogan. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for coming on relatively short notice as well. It's great to chat.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't know if you've watched one of these before, but we actually I get to see your socks to really just break the ice and get a little bit of a story about those. So, do you have anything interesting for us?
I do actually have some socks to show you, Matt. So there we go. So you can
Oh
see
wow!
we've got some lovely branded 86400 socks. So unfortunately, people have to tell me to stop showing off my socks because I do get them out every so often.
No, they're good. I actually got sent a pair as well from you guys. So I got to say that
Excellent.
they're very, 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 very comfortable. I've been rocking them since I got into the office this morning. And I've put it onto our marketing team to get something similar for State because I keep getting sent socks, but we don't have any of our own. So,
Go. So this has to be your
you
first
guys are
one.
well ahead of us when it comes to socks.
First one with matching socks. That's very exciting.
Totally. Well, I had a guest on Alpaca. I went to visit them in San Fran, and they gave me a socks and a jumper. So literally, like I can just dress myself by visiting other fintechs. It's a nice way to get a wardrobe.
Absolutely.
So in terms of 86400, like I'm really keen to actually learn. I've got your, pretty much your LinkedIn profile in front of me, and it's really impressive what you've done. Actually, you've been in the banking and finance space your whole career, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Starting off all the way in down in Wollongong, it looks like, down in Illawarra.
That's right. Yeah. So that was hometown for me. So started at Illawarra Credit Union at the ripe old age of 19, which is a young start for banking these days.
Amazing.
It's been obviously quite the journey since.
And that was your first job, and that was the one before where you are now, 86400?
Yeah, that's right. So I'd had a few sort of fun jobs before that. So I spent a bit of time working at the ice creamery at Kiama.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Jamboree Action Park and those sort of places.
Oh, awesome.
All a bit of a rite of passage for someone growing up on the South Coast. But yeah, spent 12 years, almost 12 years at Illawarra before making the leap to 86400 over 12 months ago now, sort of beginning of 2019.
Amazing. Well, congrats. So, credit union, there's a whole banking system in Australia. So there's obviously everyone knows the big four, and there's obviously challenger banks like 86400 coming through. Tell us where the credit unions sort of sit and how that experience was coming up the ranks there.
Yeah, so credit unions and other mutuals like building societies and mutual banks have been around in Australia for a very long time. Some of the oldest ones are 140 plus years old. They were born out of a really need to bank those that weren't being served by the major banks at the time. And the difference with a mutual or a credit union is that it's owned by its customers. So it doesn't have external shareholders. All the capital basically comes from within the bank or within the credit union and is then recycled into creating better products, better services and funding the growth of the credit union. They're regulated exactly like any other financial institution. So even though you're small, you get all the exact same rules and have to tick all the same boxes with APRA and ASIC and everybody. And what that meant for me, I guess, particularly being in the back office of a bank in the finance area, meant that it's small, so you get your hands dirty, you get to get involved in pretty much everything. I never really touched too much in marketing or IT, but besides that, kind of got to do almost everything from the backside of running a bank. It means you get to really get a really good understanding of how does it all work, how does it hang together. And then obviously you are so close to the customer. You get to actually see when you make a change, what does that mean? How do customers feel about that? What are the problems that customers are having and how can you better solve them? So it really is a great experience working in a small organisation. That was one of the reasons I wanted to jump over to 86400 as well, is obviously you get the chance to build something that is the intent is to be very big, not small, but for now obviously means it's nice and small and you can get your hands dirty and get involved with lots of different things and stay really close to that customer experience as well, which is really important.
Yeah, and in terms of a bank, it's obviously all about trust and the systems and the plumbing behind it. So you're on the important side of the bank, the customer facing side. Customers will come to you if you've got a good product and you're trustworthy and a bank in Australia and anywhere in the world, that's what it needs. So you've obviously built that experience. So jumping over to another, where you are now, 86,400 Challenger Bank in Australia, you've obviously got the CFO role, which is huge in a bank. So congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you finding it all?
Yeah, look, I love it. It's one of those things that you're never really sure how it's going to work out to give it a go. And obviously in the sort of 15 months I've been there, we've gone from project phase, we're building the bank still, through to actually being licensed. And we're just coming up to our first anniversary in the next few weeks of receiving our APRA license. And obviously for the finance and risk teams, that's a huge undertaking and a really big deal. Through to public launch in September, and then I really haven't looked back since then, and have been growing, putting on new customers. Obviously, we've completed our first Series A capital raising in that time as well. So yeah, very, very busy, but extremely enjoyable. And the opportunity to build a bank from scratch comes along so rarely. It's such a privilege to actually be a part of that, and to actually be able to be building something that we were really confident that customers were going to love it, but it was such a thrill to actually see it in the hands of customers, seeing people using the product, and actually seeing it helping them take control of their financial world was obviously really important to us. It's been a real joy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Congratulations. Yeah, I've look. Obviously, there's the CFO side, there's the APRA side, that you're dealing with so many different layers, but then you've got the fundraising on top. It's, you're seeing, obviously at Illawarra Credit, you probably had an existing business that was, decades or even 100 years old, I'm not quite sure. And so it had an existing ecosystem and the business was running. And now you're, there essentially from pre-launch where you've got to raise money and manage that as a CFO, shareholders, investors, obviously all those sort of, then you've obviously got the APRA side. So there's just so much to do. Like, where is your core focus right now?
So I don't get to pick just one area as the core focus. So we all wear lots of different hats. For me, obviously capital raising and working with our shareholders and investors is a key part of the role. It does take a large part of my focus, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
It's actually a really enjoyable part of my role. Usually an accounting role, you tend to be behind the scenes a little bit, whereas particularly capital raising as a startup, you're actually getting to share the journey and share the story of 86,400 a lot. So it gives me a chance to get out of the office, talk about 86,400, meet new people, and really share our journey and what we're trying to achieve with a really broad range of potential and current investors. So that part of it has been a bit of a different challenge for an accountant, but obviously it's nice to get out and get to talk about it rather than just sit in your spreadsheets as you usually do. Besides that, my focus area, obviously, working with the regulators is obviously incredibly important, and is something that we always spend some time on and making sure we're building a really good productive relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part of my role that I really enjoy is actually the chance to build a best-in-class finance function. So finance tech is a bit of a specialty area that it's a little bit unique. Obviously, we spend in the bank a huge amount of time building customer-centric tech, that it's all really about that customer experience, that customer journey, developing our app, developing our customer experience engine is where we want, and rightly so, the resources, the time, the money to go. But it gives me the opportunity behind the scenes as well to work on, from a finance perspective, how are we leveraging new tools, new technology to actually be able to build a team that will be able to be a very large bank but with a very small finance team. We work a lot in automation. We work a lot with cloud-based accounting platforms and that sort of thing to make sure things are integrated and working really well. It's really fun for the finance guys. They tend to be, it means that you've got to have people that are really comfortable doing the day-to-day, because obviously all of those, bills still need to get paid, recs still need to be done, returns still need to get submitted. But in the afternoon, then they'll be spending time actually doing new system implementations, working on automations, working on coding efficiencies and those sort of things as well. So it gives the team a really unique experience working with different parts of the business as well.
Yeah. And a lot of, obviously we've also got a fintech and, the customers see the front end, but what happens behind the scenes actually gets passed through in terms of, just the operations, how quickly things move, whether making, like for us, deposits or withdrawals, and the speed of that is all happening behind the scenes. And if you can build an amazing function behind, all the benefits get passed through to the customer as well.
Yeah.
So your product is your whole business. It's not just the front of it. And I think a lot of that gets lost in the shiny toys, but there's still shiny toys being built behind the scenes, which are really, really important in a business. So you're basically explaining that firsthand, really.
Yeah, I think one of the really great examples of that is it takes 120 seconds to join 86400. So you download the app, you put in some of your personal details as you'd expect, and then you've got a pay account, a save account, automatically open. Your card is in the mail, but also can be instantly provisioned to either your Apple or Google wallets. And then you can fund your account through MPP. So you can straight away start paying and using your card instantly. That's obviously extremely exciting for a customer. Straight away you can give it a go. There's no fees. There's nothing to catch you out. You can try it out. Obviously for myself as the CFO, the really exciting thing there is that's all automated. So people don't actually have to be behind the scenes ordering a card and doing those sort of things. So it means that we can bring on customers, as you'd expect, 24/7 or 86400 seconds of a day. We had some customers join us on Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Maybe they needed a break from family time and decided to open a bank account. I'm not sure, but
they got the Christmas gift,
That's it, or needed somewhere that they could pay for something. So it's the fact that we can be there 24/7 all the time, actually serving customers and giving them what they need, is really, really exciting, I guess.
No, it's amazing. Congrats. Look, you touched on it. I was going to ask you, I knew the answer about the 86400 because I've been following you guys, but it's actually a good chance to talk about the product in the bank that you're building, that you've built, really. What your niche is, where you sit in the space, because there's a few competitors out there, and what you guys really bring that you think separates you from the rest, really.
Yeah, sure. So 86400 is the number of seconds in a day. So that's where the name came from. It was actually one of our engineers that came up with the name. So it was all organic and in-house. So what we're trying to build, so if we take a step back to why did we start building 86400, it really was to solve a customer problem. We looked at it and said, well, Australia has lots of different banks already. The idea is that we needed a bank that was going to do things differently. So what we looked at was that, and this was obviously, we've had the Royal Commission, we've had lots of publicity around trust and issues in banking. And whilst we were aware of all of that wasn't really the heart of what we were trying to solve for. It was really about that banking has become complex. It's become messy. More than 2/3 of Australians have multiple bank accounts now. You look at things like subscriptions, you've got money coming in and out of your account, mostly out
don't
of
even
your
know
account
anymore.
so fast, and you don't even know. And when you look at, you tap your phone, you tap your watch, you tap your card, you do more transactions now in a day than we used to in a month. The idea, when I was taught budgeting by your parents, it was, okay, we'll get $20 out of the ATM, and then when you've spent it, you have to wait. And
you had ATMs. I used to have a deposit book. That's clearly a lot older.
The thing is that you were taught money in a completely different way to how it works now. And what we found was that was actually making people really stressed. They felt anxious. They felt really unsure.
Yeah, like out of control, really.
Absolutely. So that was the real heart of what we were trying to solve for, is making Australians feel in control of their money again. And that's where the app really came into the design there. It's really about simplicity. It's about giving you visibility of what matters. So what we look to do is, obviously we've got at 86400, as I mentioned, when you join, you get a pay account and a save account immediately. But you can also connect your other bank accounts into the 86400 app. So what that means is you can join, we've had 100 different institutions connected so far. We've got over almost 200,000 different accounts have been connected, so it's been really thoroughly tested. And what that means is people can see, your credit card with Bank A, your savings account with Bank B, your home loan with Bank C, and then your 86400 app as well. What we've been able to do with that is actually say to it, well, what's the view of their money that we can give a customer that nobody else can? And we do things like a really simple savings graph. We actually borrowed this from the investing world. We've got a really simple little graph in there that you can see, well, how's my savings position changed over that time period? We show you upcoming bills. So this was something we looked at to say, okay, more Australians today have subscriptions. The research says about half of Australians have a subscription that they actually don't use anymore. So they're paying for something that they're...
Like Netflix, Stan, Amazon.
All of them, right? Or it's a free trial you signed up for and forgot about. We've seen some research that Australians are saving close to $100 million a week at the moment because gym memberships are on hold.
Wow.
There's all sorts of different use cases for this. And what we looked at, though, is there's nothing worse than that feeling when you do go back in your transaction history. You could do it and see, oh gosh, that debit came out, I completely forgot about it, but it was a week ago and you can't do anything about it now.
Yeah.
What we do is show the upcoming bills. So the idea is that you can see in the app that, for instance, on mine, it will tell me my Stan is going to come out tomorrow. My health insurance comes out on a Friday. And it will show me what transactions are going to be coming up over the next weeks and months. The idea there is obviously it gives you control again. You can look at something before it happens and actually make a decision about, oh, yep, I'm using my Spotify all the time, totally happy to keep paying for that. Or, do I really want Stan and Netflix and Foxtel this month, or am I happy just with one? Again, it's an experience that few banks offer, and particularly the advantage with 86400 is we look across all your accounts. So we don't just tell you what's coming out of your account with 86400, it's with all the accounts you've connected as well. So just making it really simple and easy for people to save a little bit of money, which obviously is always important, but particularly in today's environment. If people want to say, well, how can I quickly save some cash? Then that's really what are
the decisions I can make? I mean, I just put on the card and look at it in a month's time and, you look at the paper form, they still send you credit cards and you sort of just, maybe that's maybe I bought that. That's amazing. So obviously you got the banking lane. You guys are the first neobank to get APRA approval. Is that correct? Right? Like a full banking license?
Yeah, there were a few banking licenses issued in 2019. We weren't quite the first. We were the first to publicly launch those.
Sounds good though.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you. No, so what's on the horizons for 86400? Obviously, I know I've actually seen your marketing a little bit more. I've seen them on the bus stops near me, and I think on the back of buses as well. Yeah. So you guys are getting out there now. Is it a growth phase? Is it a bit of everything? Like, where are you? You did a partnership with Zip, I read about. So it's a little bit happening there.
Yeah, so look, absolutely growth phase. Really, we're looking at home loans is obviously really important to us. As a bank, obviously, it was really important to launch pay and save accounts, but also home loans at the same time. So we're growing those through our broker network at the moment, which is really exciting. And again, the idea with the home loan design was looking at how do we make it easy for people? How do we make it simple? We don't ask for all the pay slips and, your past 7 months worth of transactions and can you just write out your life story and all of that sort of thing. We don't do all the paperwork and make it really easy for people. Yeah. And then once you have a home loan with us, and I was our first home loan customer, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Is that what we're looking at right now at your place?
Yeah, this is funded by 86400, absolutely.
They sent you the jumper and the socks when you got your home loan.
That's it. So we will have multiple offset accounts. Now, the advantage there is obviously, you want to, no one wants to lump all their money in one bucket. You get confused what it's there for. So the idea was you can have your money for your groceries and bills in one bucket. You can have your holiday savings, your rainy day funds, your car savings account, whatever you happen to be saving for. Have them all linked into your loan so that you're saving interest. And the idea is that, we don't want to tell you how to have to bank and, you must do X or must do Y, just making it really simple and easy for you. So home loans is obviously really important to us as a growth phase. The partnership with Zip is very exciting. Obviously, Zip are a really great example of an Australian fintech that's done extremely well. And obviously, the idea is we'll be bringing those Zip accounts in so that you can see your whole view of your Zip accounts in our app as well. And obviously, you can see there's lots of similarities between a company like us and a company like Zip. So we're excited to continue working with those guys in the future as well.
Now, they're amazing. That's great. So 5 years from now, you could be running the thing, or you could still be the CFO. Who knows?
I like my spreadsheets. So
look, I still look at spreadsheets and do a bit of this as well. So you're never getting away from spreadsheets in the 21st century, unless something phenomenally changes. So just to wrap it up, 5 years from now, what can we expect from 86400?
I think it's that we've really helped Australians change the way they bank, and that we've helped them take control of their money. So I think I wouldn't be brave enough to guess what the world's going to look like in 5 years. I think 5 months ago I might have been brave enough, but this year's definitely taught us not to, to try and predict too far out. But you know, I think for us it's really about growing our customers. Obviously, we're, you know, as I said, we're coming up to our first year. We've had a phenomenal take up. We've exceeded our internal targets. We've brought on so many more customers than we expected so early on, which is obviously a really great validation that what we're building works. I think I'd really love to see what new products we've brought. I'm sure some of them will be ones that none of us have dreamed up yet. And also just see, you know, the way we bank is going to change, right? The way you can see it already just with COVID when we look at the digital transaction take up is huge. I saw something the other day where it was saying no one actually, you know, you think of cash, and that's fine. no one's really using cash, but even coins are just almost obsolete now. No one uses coins.
My son was asking me, it's like, can I get a 2-cent piece? I'm like, good luck.
Luck. Like, why? Not even buy anything with 2 cents anymore.
It becomes a paperweight, I think.
And I think, you know, I was listening to your chat last week with Howard, and he was talking about how, you know, we thought disruption in the music industry was done when iTunes started disrupting, and you could buy a song digitally. And then, you know, Spotify came along and the subscription model changed it all together. And it's only going to continue to happen in banking. I think the advantage of a company like 86400, obviously we're built for a low interest rate world. We're built for digital disruption. I think our biggest challenge is, you know, we'll keep disrupting ourselves, and keep looking at, you know, how do we keep doing things differently.
Well, you've got engineering leading your marketing by your name, so that's a really good sign. You guys are building a tech-led business, which is amazing. But congratulations on everything. Thank you so much for joining. If people want to know more, obviously 86400.com.au, and obviously you guys are on social media as well. It's pretty easy. You can download from the App Store, all that sort of stuff.
You can find, absolutely. Find us in both the App Stores. 86400 doesn't hit too many different Google results. Search 86400 Bank, you'll find us. And, you know, 2 minutes, join up, give it a go. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it seems like you guys are giving control back to the customer, which we're on the same journey. So congratulations on both 86400 and your career. It's really impressive.
Thanks.
No, it'd be great to chat again and see how things are going.
Absolutely. Cheers. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you.